What sounds like a threat but isn't? I was in a bar when a guy started hitting on my girlfriend. He was clearly drunk, and she was getting uncomfortable. I went over and told him to back off. He got aggressive and started yelling at me. The bartender told him to leave, but he refused. The bartender then said, "If you don't leave, I'm going to have to call him." The drunk guy laughed and said, "Who, your boyfriend?" The bartender just smiled and said, "You'll see." A few minutes later, a huge guy walked in. He was about 6 feet 5 inches and looked like he could bench press a car. The bartender pointed at the drunk guy and said, "Him." The big guy walked over and said, "You need to leave." The drunk guy laughed and said, "What are you going to do about it?" The big guy then picked him up and carried him out of the bar. The drunk guy was kicking and screaming the whole way. After he was gone, the big guy came back in and sat down at the bar. The bartender gave him a free drink and said, "Thanks, Mike." I asked the bartender who that guy was. He said, "That's my brother. He lives upstairs. I call him when we have trouble." I laughed and said, "That's genius." The bartender smiled and said, "Yeah, it works every time."